Once again, I'm Frank Faucette. You might not be familiar with me. If you're just joining the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, a producer with over 20 years experience in the business. And I'm here on YouTube now to kind of open things up, you know. Did a really great interview on Over the Top WME's channel. So go check her out if you want to check the interview with me. I've also done a podcast this week. So a lot of things are happening that are good. But we got to address some things that are not so good right now. So let me start. I don't know if I can screen share this, but maybe I'll just read it. The Wire actor Michael K. Williams found dead in his NYC apartment. This is reported by the New York Post. Wire actor Michael K. Williams was found dead of a suspected heroin overdose. They didn't know that at first. They were wondering what it could be. But he was found dead of a suspected heroin overdose in his Brooklyn penthouse Monday afternoon. So just not so long ago. I think you guys are about 3 hours ahead of us on the East Coast. I think it was about maybe midday. Williams, 54, was discovered face down and unconscious in the dining room of his luxury Williamsburg pad with what appeared to be heroin on the kitchen table. Sources said. This is New York Post. So allegedly, I'm not gonna confirm that is factual. Moving on. One of the acclaimed actor's nephews talked to him Friday, and Williams was supposed to show up to an event on Saturday, but never made it. A nephew then went to Williams' home on Monday. Someone called the cops at the address at just before 2 p.m. saying there was a man who was unresponsive and feels cold, the sources said. Williams, who had talked openly about his past struggles with drugs, was pronounced dead by authorities at 12 p.m., sources said, adding that it appeared the TV star had fatally OD'd. It was unclear how long the actor may have been dead. No foul play indicated. A police source said no forced entry. The apartment was in order. Let's see here. A man sat sobbing alone at a table outside Williams' building, talking into his cell phone Monday afternoon. I found the body, the inconsolable man said into his phone, shaking with tears streaming down his face. Williams' longtime rep confirmed the actor's death in a statement. Let's see. It says Michael was known for, of course, The Wire, but his iconic role as Omar, but as Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire, and recently had been nominated for an Emmy. East Flatbush native. Shout out to Flatbush. Was famous for his role as Omar Little in the gritty TV series The Wire. His openly gay character toted a sawed-off shotgun while walking the mean streets of Baltimore before robbing drug dealers and whistling the tune to Elmer Fudd's Hunting We Will Go. Williams said he brought his personal experiences, including his own struggles, to his roles. That's important, man. I talked about this recently too. Your life experience will dictate some of your acting work. You know, it will keep you. It'll give you more depth, but you know, there's another side to that. There's definitely another side to that. I use my job to engage, is a quote. I use my job to engage with empathy and compassion for people society might stereotype or ostracize, he told The Guardian in 2015. No one wakes up and says, I'm going to become a drug dealer or I'm going to become a stick-up kid. No. There's a series of events that makes them feel this is the only way out as a black man growing up in the hood. I bear witness to some of those events, as do I. Yeah, it's really hard, man. It's really hard to hear Let me check my level one more time. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Let me get back to this. Okay. Yeah. Even had a scar to prove it. The remnant of a horrific slashing from a fight outside a bar in Queens when he was 25. Man, that thing was going around New York crazy when people were slashing people back in the day. Yeah, that's crazy, crazy. Let's see if I can get. Yeah. Williams credited the facial scar with that was very iconic too, to be, to have a scar like that and be as strong of a presence as he was, to really sport it and embrace it. Man, I'm serious. Williams credited the facial scar with landing him his first big acting breaks, which revolved around thug roles. The actor had been vocal about his own struggles with drugs throughout the years too, including during the filming of The Wire, saying to get into the role of Little, who robs drug dealers, affected him in real life. The actor told NPR in 2016 that he once stumbled into a church in New Jersey. Yeah, I've read this. This is a little off the beaten path, but yeah, I guess he struggled with addiction for a long time. And it's funny because I watched another video. Recently, we lost a couple comedians back to back, in a drug related overdose, and on the West Coast out here. And actually, somebody had talked about it. It's like, people are dealing with pain, and it's hard to really wrap your mind around it. It's great to have these moments now where we honor them and say how great they are, but are you really reaching out to these people that you so-called love in their darkest moments? Now, yeah, I can speak to that, because as someone who, like I said, I've enjoyed a level of success. I've been around the business, but it's like I always use the Goodfellas analogy. When you go to the Bing, when you're not in the limelight, do the same people love you? And does your phone still ring the same way? It's always the faux brotherhood that's out here, which I will say, there's some very positive parts of being a Black actor. We all kind of know each other. I actually met Michael a couple times, both in New York and in Los Angeles. He was one of the first people I met when I was out here, and but I can't say he was a close friend of mine because he was on another level, but one of the nicest guys I've met in the business, like absolutely, for all the characters that he played, like he was completely the opposite. And we actually had the same agency too, for a while. And so I would see him there at the office, and then I ended up, like I told, I used to work a lot of security, apartment complex he lived at that was very popular in town. He was there too. So I just kept running into him back to back in this 5-year period or whatever. But one of the nicest guys, just one of the nicest guys in the business, and a genuine soul and a true actor and a true thespian. I think what a lot of people don't know is that he was an actor his whole life, pretty much. He started early. He was a child actor. Now, we talked about his past and his forays into the street life, which you can't avoid in New York in that era. It's interesting that let me put the link up too while I'm here. It's interesting that a lot of people don't know that he was acting before The Wire. We all as actors get given our big break, and then we're thrust into into the spotlight, but a lot of times people don't know. People don't know what it is to actually um, to struggle all those years and then finally get somewhere. So there was a lot of theater work that went on there, I'm sure, and he'll definitely be missed. Let me go back to this story. Oh yeah, here it goes. Talks about his background a little bit. Um, the actor started out as a backup dancer for Madonna. Yeah, that's right. He was dancing too. For Madonna and George Michael before being encouraged by the rapper Tupac Shakur to go into performing. That's a good fact. That's an interesting fact. He used his eventual fame to promote social justice, becoming an ambassador for ending mass incarceration for the American Civil Liberties Union in 2015. He said, I could have been Eric Garner. I could have been Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin, Michael Williams told The Guardian, referring to the three dead black men whose law enforcement related fatalities helped fuel the Black Lives Matter movement. My goal is to end mass incarceration and have more dialogue about how we can stop the government filling up jails with low level, nonviolent drug offenders and people with mental illnesses or addiction. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, just got some other news. Jesus, it just doesn't stop right now, man. We're getting news all over the place. Uh, uh, okay, let me find out who. Um, call you back. And I've got food coming too, so I don't know. I'll see how long I'm on here. My goal is to end mass incarceration and have more dialogue about how we can stop the government filling up jails with low level, non-violent drug offenders and people with mental illnesses or addiction. Absolutely. Those are health issues, not criminal. And that's what we need to remember about Michael's case as well. This situation with Michael is that he was struggling with addiction. Addiction, I don't know why it's been criminalized. Um, we're exploring now in certain states the decriminalization of it, but it's never being really examined for what it really is. It's never really being treated as what are the root causes of it. So I can tell you, like this actor wrote, though there is community, it can be lonely. It can definitely be lonely. And there are people that, you know, like I said, that might see you online doing well, might see you on TV, Boardwalk Empire and The Wire, he's got it all together. They assuming. But there's a lot of darkness that goes into this, taking on other people's personalities. Because I don't think people realize about acting that when you're really deep in acting, when you see somebody who's done an excellent job at kind of embodying this character that's maniacal, there's a certain toll that comes with that. I don't think people talk about that at all. Um, I can think back to characters I played, and when I was in school, and his character was a great August Wilson character, but his life wasn't together. He was barely getting by, selling refrigerators and things, and like one of the administrators actually said, we're actually giving Frank the space to really go through that. Like, lay off him for a second because he's really deep in this character, and it's going to affect his work. And I can say in other roles where I know of actors who've had to literally detox a role, basically go away somewhere to a retreat to get that, I don't know, I wouldn't say spirit off of them of that character, but to get that darkness off of them. And you look at someone like Michael K. Williams, who played nothing but, what did the article say? Played roles that embodied the darkness. Think about the toll that takes on you. Think about how much that's going to affect you. Think about what that does to the psyche of a performer, somebody who's really committed to the art, because you can tell this man was a thespian who was committed to his craft of art, of acting. And it's like there's no real program for that. You have to take your own money in your own thing. I mean, people have gone to Africa. They talk about Dave Chappelle running off to Africa. There's some real mental illness that comes into this performance that is not addressed. It's not addressed. People, I mean, just the idea of getting the job, you know what I mean? Like the stress that goes into that can split your mind, And then to get the job and to really live it and embody this darkness consistently. As Michael was also nominated for Lovecraft Country, which I unfortunately didn't stop. I didn't finish the season, but very great show. If you get a chance, check it out on HBO or HBO Max. But back to this point, man, it's like, how do you really address a darker issue? Because this goes into the whole thing about the comedians too. Because the person, Takara, she was talking about the one of the comedians that had recently passed from a overdose on fentanyl, on cocaine laced with fentanyl, which is happening left and right. I suggest, it's a little like kind of like cliche that actors do coke and all this stuff. I suggest y'all just leave it alone. Like, it's not worth it now. None of that's worth it. Just because you can't tell what it is unless you test it, unless you're just, sure, 100% sure what it is. I've never been a drug person, but I can understand why people would look to something like drugs to cope with the pain. Because I'm talking about just the stress in acting. Like, what about the stress that comes from living on top of that, having a real life and dealing with real stress on top of all that other stress that's being placed upon you. Then you're dealing with money. You're dealing with now the pandemic or whatever you want to add to this. Like, you see, it's a cocktail for destruction in some cases. If you're not mentally strong and healthy, you can see a lot of people fall by the wayside. And so what Takara was saying, that this guy was having down moments. You know what I mean? He was not always in the best place, financially or whatever. And that he knew everybody from the top celebrities down, comedians, actors, I guess, and that people weren't talking to him. And she knew that truth because she had witnessed it. She was one of the people that, had been around him. And like, it's true, man. It's like, it's the isolation that can drive somebody crazy, And it's like I feel like an elder statesman now that I've been at this for 20 some years. I'm like, I kind of seen a lot and dealt with a lot. So I'm like, okay, well, I kind of built ways to cope with it. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? Not perfect either. But a lot of people look to drugs, and it's not a surprise. And if you really love these people, reach out to them. If you know they're abusing themselves, reach out to them and get them help. Yeah, it's like if you love people, make sure that you check on your people, man. I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But we were blessed to have Michael K. Williams as one of our brothers at arms, as one of the people who was putting in good work consistently. I think he's nominated for an Emmy now, like just to show you how great he was for the whole time since The Wire. He's been still holding it down, man. So rest in peace, rest in power, Michael K. Kenneth Williams. Just a hell of an actor, man. You hate to see that he went out like this, man. Oh man, born November 22nd, 1966, died September 6th, 2021. Let me run down some of his credits too, if I can. Some more. We know the regular. I'm gonna see if he had stuff that we might remember. It's sad that this had to happen right now too, man. With so many other ways that are, take so many other things that are taking people out these days. Is like it's rough. It's rough that he had to go in this way. It's like you can't win for losing out here, man. Yeah, that's right. He was on Happen Leonard, the night of, briefly, I think. Man, such a long resume too. He was on The Sopranos, Third Watch, Alias, Boston Legal. Wow, he had done a bunch. And then The Wire, and yeah, let's see, The Cookout. He was in The Cookout too. Get out of here. Oh yeah, I think I do remember that, man. He was actually really funny too. That's the thing. Like, I don't think people know that about him. He could be funny as hell, man. I remember talking to him outside the apartment complex. Like, yeah, he was cracking jokes. Of course, the iconic Chalky White and Boardwalk Empire. Black Market with Michael K. Williams is, I guess, a show he hosted. Vice, he was on Vice. Oh, Vice, the TV show, not the network. Happen Leonard, When They See Us. Yes, he was on When They See Us. And Lovecraft Country. Some of his movies include, wow. Yeah, man. He was in 12 Years a Slave. That was a big one. Miracle at St. Anna, Spike Lee movie. Okay, going back to 1994, he was in Madonna's Secret, if you wanted to check that out. Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage, he had a role in. Doing a Hard Time. I remember that. I Think I Love My Wife, Gone Baby Gone, Incredible Hulk. He was in Incredible Hulk, huh? Belly 2, which that's a deep cut right there. I think that's the word of the game. Credit only. So I don't think he was actually in that one. Snow on the Bluff, he was an executive producer of, brought us that wonderful indie, Brooklyn's Finest, Day in the Life, Love, Learning Uncle Vincent. Shout out to you, Datari. That was my boy's film. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, the RoboCop. Yeah, he was in there. He's got a million credits, and he was set to play Old Dirty Bastard. Oh my God, I wanted to see him play Old Dirty Bastard. That would have been perfect. I saw like a little clip they did, a little trailer, and that thing was amazing with Michael K. Williams as ODB, man. One Brooklyn dude portraying another Brooklyn dude. That would have been up. I don't want to cuss on you, but it would have been amazing. Bruh. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna take it off of here right now. I might come back a little bit later, but I got a lot of moving pieces, as you can see. I'm getting calls from the East Coast. I'm getting family members hit me up, and maybe we'll do the call in again a little later. Um, but yeah, man. Once again, rest in power, King. To Michael K. Williams. Sounds strange to say. Guys, take care of your friends, take care of your family, take care of your associates, um, and just call and check on people. Man, I'm on the phone all the time. That's why I don't understand when people say they don't call people anymore. They only text or whatever. I don't think you really feel them if you don't see them or hear them. Check on your people, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I'm out. I thank you for joining me, and be safe. Later.